learning outcome number 2 of Module 14, we're going to be talking specifically about the sympathetic nervous system. Now, the sympathetic division of the autonomic nervous system, it's actually going to influence various organ systems of the body through these connections that are going to be emerging either from the thoracic or the upper lumbar spinal cord. This is why we call it the thoracolumbar system, because basically it's reflecting where those spinal nerves are exiting. So if you see on this image, you can see that all the nerves that belong to the sympathetic nervous system is exiting right over here from the thoracic region or the upper lumbar region of the spinal cord. Now there is going to be a central neuron that's going to be located in the lateral horn of any of these spinal regions that are going to project all the way to the ganglia, and this ganglia is going to be close to the vertebral column. So this means that the first neuron that's leaving the spinal cord is going to be a short one because the ganglia is close to the spinal cord. So this is why when we're talking about the preganglionic neurons, we can say that they leave the gray horn at the level of the spinal segments T1 through T12. And of course, we can also add that these spinal nerves, they're leaving not only through the lateral gray horn, but then they're going to go through the ventral roots, so the anterior part of the spinal cord, because they're exiting the spinal cord. Now, the majority of the ganglia of the sympathetic nervous system, they're going to belong to this network of ganglia that's called the sympathetic chain ganglia. That's actually going to run alongside the vertebral column, as you can see right over here. So because these ganglia, they're going to appear as this series of clusters of neurons linked by these axonal bridges, they formed like these little chains. Looks like a little necklace. And this is why it's called the sympathetic chain ganglia. And there are typically about 23 ganglia in the chain on either side of the spinal cord. From this image, we can't see very well, but there are going to be 3 nerves that will correspond to the cervical region, 12 that are going to correspond to the thoracic region, 4 that are going to correspond to the lumbar region, and another 4 that will correspond to the sacral region. But remember that the sympathetic nervous system, the nerves only exit from the thoracic and the lumbar regions. So when we refer to the sacral and cervical levels, it does not mean that they're going to be connected directly to the spinal cord, but they're actually going to be connected to these spinal roots that are leaving the spinal cord. So you can see how from here it goes up to the cervical region, but they're actually leaving from the thoracic level. And with regards to the ones for the sacral region, they're actually leaving from the lumbar region. So they're going to go through these ascending or descending connections. So with regards to ascending are the ones that are going from the thorax region to the cervical region. And the descending connection will go from the lumbar region to the sacral region. But they will all be part of the sympathetic nervous system. Another thing that we can say is that once these preganglionic neurons, they arrive to the ganglia, they will release what we call acetylcholine, which is a neurotransmitter, and most likely the acetylcholine will produce an excitatory type of transmission. And this will excite the next neuron, which is the postganglionic neuron or just the ganglionic neuron. And this postganglionic neuron will then go to the target organs, which can be all these organs that are located right over here. And this neuron will release the neurotransmitter norepinephrine, which is mostly excitatory as well. On this image, we can clearly see where the sympathetic division will be located right over here in this red region, so between the thoracic and the lumbar regions. More specifically between T1 and L2 of the spinal cord, So the cell bodies of these neurons, they're going to occupy, like I said, the lateral gray horns of the spinal cord between these regions of T1 and L2. And their axons are going to enter the ventral roots of those segments. Now, the postganglionic neurons, they can be divided into three different groups. We have what we call the sympathetic chain ganglia, which we already talked about in the previous slide. And these are also called the paravertebral or lateral ganglia, and they will lie lateral on each side of the vertebral column. So on both sides, you're going to have the sympathetic chain ganglia, which we saw on the previous slide. And because we have them on both sides of the vertebral column, we can say that they are paired. And they're going to innervate specifically the visceral organs that are located in the thoracic cavity, in the head, in the body wall, and in the limbs. Then we have what we call the collateral ganglia, and this one is going to be unpaired. So it's only going to lie anterior to the vertebral column. So not on the sides, but only anterior. And the postganglionic fibers that are going to be exiting these ganglia, they're going to innervate most likely the abdominal pelvic cavity. So both of these are going to be innervated by postganglionic fibers. Then we have a third one, which is the suprarenal medulla, or the adrenal gland, which is basically going to act as this modified sympathetic ganglia. So the adrenal gland or the suprarenal gland is going to act as this modified sympathetic ganglion. And these ganglionic neurons, they're going to have very short axons, and when they're going to be stimulated, they're actually going to release neurotransmitters that will act as hormones, and they will travel through the bloodstream to be distributed through organs and other systems throughout the body because they're traveling through the bloodstream. So they're not localized like these two over here that are targeting specific organs. If it's going into the bloodstream through the circulation, it will affect several different organs throughout the body. So here's a summary of what we were talking about with regards to the sympathetic nervous system. So you can see how this neuron over here is exiting through the ventral side, through the ventral root, and because it's prior to the ganglion, it's called the sympathetic preganglionic neuron. Notice how the cell body is located in the spinal cord, and the terminal button of the axon is located on the autonomic ganglion. Once the impulse travels through this neuron and reaches the ganglion, it will release acetylcholine that will synapse then with another neuron, which is the postganglionic neuron, that will release norepinephrine at either smooth muscle, heart, and glands. And most likely this will be an excitatory effect. Same over here, excitatory effect. Now the connection between the autonomic fibers and the target effectors is not the same as the typical synapse, such as the ones that we saw, remember, in the neuromuscular junction. Therefore, instead of having those synaptic end bulbs that are going to have neurotransmitters being released through them, you're going to have these swellings that are called varicocytes. And they will all be held together by these fibers that form sort of a network of varicocytes. So you can see the neurotransmitters. In this case, because we're talking about sympathetic nervous system, this will be the norepinephrine that's being released onto the target organ, or in this case, the smooth muscle of the organ, as we can see over here. So the neurotransmitters, again, norepinephrine, is going to be released from these varicocytes, and they will bind to specific receptors that are located on the sarcolemma of the smooth muscle. Lastly, we're going to see what will occur at the adrenal gland. we can see we're going to have the preganglionic neuron right over here with the cell body located in the spinal cord. It will exit through the ventral horn where it will arrive at the adrenal gland. In the adrenal gland, there's going to be two different areas. The internal area is what we call the adrenal medulla. The outer part is what we call the adrenal cortex. Inside the adrenal medulla, the sympathetic preganglionic neuron will release acetylcholine, just like the other preganglionic neurons. And when it releases acetylcholine, it will activate these specialized cells that are called chromaffin cells to release, in this case, hormones, which will be epinephrine and norepinephrine, into the bloodstream. And once they release this hormone into the bloodstream, it will travel through your body and target several organs throughout your body. So we can say that these chromaffin-like cells, they're going to be modified sympathetic postganglionic neurons that instead of releasing norepinephrine, it will release epinephrine and norepinephrine into the blood as hormones to be able to target several organs throughout the body.